Hi there, and good afternoon. I'm John.
I'm Zen. And I'm Julie.
We're with C Nation, and you are tuned in to the 50 Days of Cannabis podcast, where we examine the cannabis laws in each of the 50 states.
Oh, hold on, John. You missed one.
I did. The District of Columbia is also included in this. We just thought 50 days sounded a little better than 51. Today we're looking at the cannabis laws in the District of Columbia, otherwise known as Washington, D.C. Our nation's capital has legalized cannabis for recreational use for adults 21 and over.
Woohoo!
Still, it's not the Wild Wild West, or should I say the Wild Wild East, and some offenses are felony charges with serious time behind bars and expensive fines.
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, the possession of 2 ounces or less by adults 21 and over is permitted by law.
Woo.
Possession of more than 2 ounces by anyone in the district is a misdemeanor, punishable up to 6 months in jail and a fine of $1,000.
Well, that's not bad. I like that they're changing their laws. And
2 ounces is good.
Now, registered medical cannabis patients in the district may possess up to 2 ounces. Medical dispensaries may grow up to 500 plants in a single location.
Now, this is where we find a crazy story, and we just cannot believe it.
All right, so if you're a medical patient in the District of Columbia, you can't cultivate at home. You can't grow your own plants.
And a lot of people can't leave their homes.
If you're a recreational patient, yeah, you can grow your own.
But not medical. It's crazy that a lot of these people that are using this cannot actually leave their home
To get to a dispensary to get their stuff.
Yeah, it's just insane.
I'm going to ask a question here, and I might be confused, which, hey, for you listeners, that ain't nothing but a thing. I thought they could have 8 ounces, medical users in the district. 8 ounces? No? It's 2 ounces?
Yeah.
Okay. 2. I don't know, maybe I've been into the catnip today, and I just don't know.
2 ounces medical, 2 ounces recreational.
Fair
All
enough.
right, let's talk about those growers and sellers. Let's talk about sellers at first. The adults over 21 may free exchange up to 1 ounce among themselves without any penalties.
So, give me an ounce?
Yeah. And give you a
Okay,
joint.
nobody faces...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which we usually
So
see
hand
that
it
it
over.
does. Like in some states, like in Nevada, you give anybody, it can possibly,
Anything.
yeah, it can give you some time. The sale of distribution of 8 ounces or less on a first offense is a misdemeanor.
That's where that 8 ounces, that's where that was in my head.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
That's punishable up to 6 months in jail and a maximum fine of $1,000. Now, your second offense at this level or any amount greater than 8 ounces is a felony, punishable up to 5 years in prison with a financial penalty ranging between $5,000 and $50,000.
Wow.
So just don't carry that much.
Yeah, I mean, 2 ounces is generous.
Yeah,
I'm with you there. It's plenty. It's plenty.
So let's talk about the growers. Adults 21 and over may cultivate up to 6 plants in the district with no more than 3 mature. Multiple adults living in the same house or a single rental unit may grow up to 12 plants with no more than 6 mature.
So that's pretty cool. We see that in let's say about half the states right now, that if you're a multi-adult household, they just don't say 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, but they realize that more adults in the house does mean, you should be able to grow more plants, just logically speaking, so they jump it up to 12. Some states we just see that number's fixed, 6 per household, whatever, but it's nice that they double that for a house with more adults. We know about living in houses with more adults, and it's nice to be able to do that.
Yep, so this is where we get real serious, right?
Yeah, I guess it is. And we can be pretty serious about the school zone laws in the District of Columbia because they're roughly no joke. As you just heard Zen and Jules point out here, nothing in the district is really too severe. I mean, granted, 5 years, $50,000, that's something.
Yeah.
But we've seen that same felony level across the country be
For much lesser amounts.
up to life.
Yeah.
Up
Texas,
to a couple of $100,000. Yep. So, granted, nobody wants to do a nickel in prison on a cannabis felony, but, it's not the worst situation. So the school zone laws in D.C. are pretty straightforward, and they cover sales, intent to distribute, and cultivation. So roughly it breaks down to this. Within 1,000 feet of any place where you would expect families and children to congregate, daycare centers, libraries, video arcades, swimming pools, public parks, these types of places, they're all considered part of these drug-free zones in the district. And their language is a little bit vague, and it simply says that any of this occurring within 1,000 feet of those places may bring a doubled penalty. So, double the fine.
Double the time.
Double the time. I'm not quite sure what they mean. Does it mean a whole new felony? Now you've got 2 instead of 1? I'm not sure, but, in this instance, doubled isn't a good thing.
Yeah. It's when you're talking about the fine or the time, it's not good.
Exactly. It's not like you're talking about the free exchange went from 2 ounces to 4 ounces now. So double here is definitely not a good thing.
So I did hear that you mentioned intend to distribute. Can you tell our listeners what that means?
Please. I can. I can. And we.
Are you a mind reader?
I'm not a mind reader. What does
But the law thinks they can.
Oh, the law does think they can. See, I'm slow today, so maybe you can speed up the podcast and it'll have me at normal speed here. So, I see what you're saying about mind readers. No, they don't have to be a mind reader to know whether you are intending to sell the gear that you have. So the district lets you have up to 2 ounces in your possession. So that's 56 grams of cannabis. In a 2-ounce package, you're good to go in the district. That is simple legal possession in
That's
one
yours.
package. It is. It's yours. The district says you're great with that. Now, you break that down into 56 1-gram packages because you're selling $10 grams around the district or something. So all of a sudden, instead of 1 package with 2 ounces, you've got 56 packages that weigh 2 ounces. You've probably got scales. You've probably got some 1s and 5s and 10s and baggies, these types of things. What you're basically presenting to law enforcement is that they just showed up too soon or too late to see you actually selling that gear, but it's ready for sale. It is right there, all weighed out, all pristine, all perfect for your customers to come and grab and pay.
Intent to distribute.
It is. You are
exactly
intending
that.
to distribute that. And the moment you do, then you are distributing it. So it's same. They don't really care. They don't really differentiate at all. It's the same charge. School zone, not school zone. It's the same charge. And it's a really good question. We take for granted sometimes on the 50 Days of Cannabis podcast of all the industry jargon and lingo. We're kind of down with all this. Some of us. Well, I've been a cannabis enthusiast for quite a while. And maybe Zen less, and Julie even less.
Yeah.
But we are cannabis enthusiasts, and we do use the lingo pretty regularly because that's our circle of friends, and that's our circles of influence. And these, we're just part of the cannabis culture, so it is nothing but a thing. But we do like to explain these terms and these other...
In case our listeners don't know what they mean.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, you want to roll around the district with your cannabis, keep it in one package. That's really what it comes down to. For a more comprehensive look at the cannabis laws in Washington, D.C., please visit us at cnation.com and click on the state-by-state link.
Remember, you have rights if you're arrested for any cannabis-related reasons. You have the constitutional right to remain silent until your attorney is present. If you don't have an attorney, ask for one.
Holla.
This is Zen.
And Julie.
And John.
With C Nation, bringing you a snapshot of the cannabis laws in Washington, D.C. Be safe.
Stay informed.
Yeah, what they said. The 50 Days of Cannabis podcast is a copyrighted production of the South American Gold Corporation.
We appreciate your likes and shares on social media.
Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at C Nation Channel.